Thank you so much. I have the difficult task of standing between you and dinner, so I'll keep my comments really brief. And Dhaval wanted me to just say a few words about where do we go from here. And I think it's been a very inspirational journey. But I think the theme of my few words is going to be imperative and opportunity. 65 years after independence, we still have, as Mr. Sinha pointed out, 4.5 million people who eat rats, who have absolutely no access to education, and that is a national shame. I think it's also an opportunity. The opportunity is to make sure that there are 4.5 million less people in that category 5 or 10 years from now, certainly in our lifetime. 65 years after independence, we still have higher mortality rates, infant mortality rates in suburbs of Greater Mumbai than in any other part of the world. I think, with the efforts that people like Amita are doing with Ekam, we have the opportunity to reverse that in 5 years, certainly well within our lifetimes. And I think that is what Give India is all about. And I think that's what we need to, really think about as we think about the years ahead. It's taken us 13 years to raise 185 crores to impact 1 million lives. I think the imperative is to make sure that that need doesn't exist. And so I think the opportunity for us really is for the Give India community to come together to raise 185 crores every year. I think it's possible. It sounds ridiculous, but in a country where actually so much of wealth gets created, where there are houses available for that price, where there are yachts available for that price, why can't we raise 185 crores a year to make sure that NGO leaders, many of you who are in the audience, are not limited by capital, but can actually go out and make a difference. It would have sounded ridiculous, but I know this year alone, Give India's high net worth team will, for 2 projects, raise 85 crores. In 1 year, we will basically be able to, in 2 projects alone, be able to raise, a very large percentage of what we did in 13 years. So I think the opportunity before us, the challenge before Dhaval, is to make sure that we impact 1 million lives every year, sometime in the next 5 years. I think the next opportunity we have for our NGOs is to make sure that, as I said, they do not feel limited by funds. Our job is, I think, only done if we get to a stage where NGOs do not feel lack of capital is an impediment to impacting lives. Second, we need to do so by further bringing down the cost of funding that we raise. The national average, the global average is somewhere in the 30–40% range. Give India is closer to 10%. The opportunity is to bring that down to even 5%, because that will be 5% more lives impacted. It will not be 1 million lives a year, but it will be 1,050,000 lives a year. So that's the second opportunity that we have. And I think, again, in the next 5 years, we should set ourselves the target to achieve that. I think the third opportunity is to make sure that there are not, a handful of people like Pushpa and Dhaval and Venkat and Deepas and Sambhajis, in the community. We have to make sure that Give India becomes an aspirational people to work, a platform to work at. I was recently in Boston, and I was at the Harvard Business School campus, and my brother-in-law, who's the dean, was telling me that the biggest source of talent for Harvard Business School, of its 800 MBA intakes every year, is an NGO called Teach for America. I would never have imagined that. I would never have guessed that. That is what we need to do if we really want to make a difference in India. We have to make places like Give India aspirational platforms where the best and brightest, like what we have had in the past, come, but not in the numbers that we have had historically, but in 10 times, 15 times that amount every year. I think if we are able to do all of this, then we would do justice to Mr. Wagul's vision. I completely agree with him. I feel dissatisfied with our efforts every day, though I feel a deep sense of gratitude to the Give India team. But I feel dissatisfied that in a country where there's so much of opportunity, that we're only able to do the little that we've been able to do. But I think if we get these things right, we can truly make a difference and feel satisfied. I think the opportunity is to make sure that we do it in our lifetimes. And I think working together with your blessings, with your support, I'm sure we'll get there. Thank you.